I've spent 14 years pouring everything into my wife, Jessica, so she could become a doctor. But the day she graduated, she hit me with a line I'll never shake. "You're too boring, Michael." This is the story of the day I lost it all, and how I clawed my way back to myself. It's 6:47 a.m., and I'm standing in our San Diego kitchen, the kind of suburban setup you'd see in a sitcom, not some glossy mansion. The counter's cluttered with half-empty coffee mugs and a toaster that's been sparking for weeks. My hands are shaking as I grind beans for the French press, the buzz of the grinder drowning out the hum of the fridge. I don't know why I'm so on edge, but my gut's been screaming at me for weeks. Something's off with Jessica. I can feel it, like a low-grade fever that won't break. I glance at the calendar pinned to the corkboard. Our trip to Europe is circled in red. Paris, Rome, the works. I've been planning it for months, tweaking itineraries between marketing campaigns at work. It's supposed to be our victory lap, a celebration of her finally becoming a doctor after all the late nights, the loans, the years I worked overtime to cover our bills. I even booked a dinner at this rooftop place in Paris, 180 euros a head, because she deserves it. Or so I thought. The floor creaks, and I turn to see Jessica in the doorway, her hair pulled back, wearing yoga pants and a tank top. She's holding a suitcase, not a duffel for a weekend trip, but the big one, the one we used when we moved here from Phoenix. My mouth goes dry, like I've swallowed sand. "Jess, what's with the bag?" My voice cracks, and I hate how weak it sounds. She doesn't look at me. Not really. Her eyes are on the floor, then the window. Anywhere but my face. "Michael, I'm leaving," she says, flat, like she's reading a grocery list. "I can't do this anymore. You're too boring. This life is too boring." I stand there, coffee grounds spilling onto the counter because I forgot to stop pouring. Boring? 14 years of grinding, of skipping vacations so she could study, of cooking dinner at 11 p.m. because she was at the hospital? That's boring? My heart's hammering so hard I can feel it in my throat. "Jess, what are you talking about? We're going to Europe next week. This is our time." She finally meets my eyes, and there's nothing there, no guilt, no warmth, just this cold, detached stare. "I'm going with Chad," she says, and it's like a punch to the gut. Chad. Her yoga instructor. The guy with the man bun and the fake tan, who drives a rented Honda Civic and talks about energy flows like he's some guru. I've met him twice, and both times I wanted to wipe that smug grin off his face. I stumble over to the sink, gripping the edge because my legs feel like they're about to give out. "Chad, the gym bro? You're throwing away 14 years for that?" I'm yelling now, but I don't care. The neighbors can probably hear me through the thin walls, but screw it. "Jess, we built this. I built this. For you." She doesn't flinch. "I deserve more," she says, and that's when I see it. The way she's standing, shoulders squared, like she's rehearsed this. She's been planning this for months, hasn't she? All those late-night study sessions, the way she'd dodge my questions about her day, the new perfume I didn't recognize. It wasn't stress. It was her, playing me like a damn fool. The front door swings open, and there's Chad, leaning against the frame like he owns the place. He's wearing a tank top that shows off his overworked biceps, and he's got this smirk that makes my blood boil. "Ready, babe?" he says, not even glancing at me. Babe, my wife, my Jessica. I want to lunge at him, to wipe that look off his face, but I'm frozen. My hands are still on the sink, knuckles white, and all I can do is watch as Jessica grabs her suitcase and walks toward him. The suitcase wheels squeak on the hardwood, a sound that's going to haunt me for years. She doesn't look back, not once. They step outside, and I follow, like some pathetic dog chasing its owner. The morning sun's too bright, glinting off Chad's stupid car parked in my driveway. It's a 2018 Civic base model with a dent on the hood. This is the guy she's choosing? This is the more she deserves? "Jess, wait," I say, my voice breaking again. "Just talk to me. We can fix this." I'm begging now, and I hate myself for it, but I can't stop. 14 years. Our first apartment with the leaky faucet, the way she'd laugh when I burned toast, the nights we stayed up planning our future. That's worth something, isn't it? She pauses, one hand on the car door, and for a second I think she's going to turn around. But she just shakes her head. I'm done, Michael. I'm sorry. And then she's in the car, Chad's revving the engine, and they're pulling out of the driveway. I stand there, coffee grounds still stuck to my hands, watching the Civic disappear around the corner. My neighbor, Mrs. Torres, is watering her roses across the street, pretending not to stare. I want to scream, to throw something, but instead, I just stand there. The world feels too quiet, like someone turned off the sound. Ever been betrayed by the one person you trusted most? That's where I am right now, chest tight, head spinning. I walk back inside, and the kitchen smells like coffee and regret. The French press is still on the counter, ground scattered like tiny pieces of my life. I grab it, meaning to clean up, but my hands are shaking too hard and it slips. Glass shatters on the tile, coffee splashing everywhere. And I just stare at it, breathing hard. This can't be how it ends. Not after everything. Jessica thinks she's won, that she's off to some glamorous new life with Chad. But she doesn't know me. Not the real me, the guy who spent years building plans, backup plans, and contingency plans. The marketer who knows how to read people, how to pivot when the game changes. I'm not done. Not by a long shot. When Jessica drove off with Chad, I knew one thing for sure. This wasn't the end. It was the beginning of me taking my life back. Jessica thought she'd won. She thought she could just walk out with Chad and leave me in the dust. But she didn't know that my marketer's habits, my obsession with backups and plans, were about to flip the whole damn game. I'm behind the wheel of my beat-up Toyota Corolla, the one with the coffee stain on the passenger seat from last week's spill. My hands are slick with sweat, gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles ache. It's maybe an hour after Jessica dropped her bomb and drove off with that smug yoga bro. I'm not even sure where I'm going, just driving, weaving through San Diego's suburban streets, past strip malls and palm trees. The radio's off, but my head's screaming. Boring. That word keeps looping, like a bad song stuck in my skull. 14 years, and she calls me boring. I pull into a 7-Eleven, the neon sign flickering like it's as tired as I am. The parking lot smells like gasoline and regret. I kill the engine and just sit there, staring at the dashboard. My phone's buzzing in the cup holder, probably my sister, Sarah, checking in. She's been on my case lately saying I look like hell. Bagged eyes, hunched shoulders, the works. She's not wrong. I grab the phone, but instead of answering, I toss it onto the seat. I need a minute. Just one damn minute to breathe. Inside, the clerk's some kid with earbuds, barely looking up as I grab a Red Bull from the cooler. My hands are still shaking, and I fumble my wallet at the counter. The kid glances at me, one eyebrow raised. "You okay, man?" he asks, like he actually cares. I mutter something about a rough day and shove a crumpled tin at him. Pattern interrupt, my marketing brain notes. His question yanks me out of my spiral for a split second, but it's not enough. Not nearly enough. Back in the car, I crack the Red Bull and take a swig, the fizz burning my throat. That's when it hits me. A memory, sharp and clear. Back in my early marketing days, I had this boss, Dave, who drilled one rule into me. Always have a backup. Emails, contracts, campaign data, doesn't matter. Back it up, lock it down, control the game. I've been doing it for years, out of habit. Bank accounts, passwords, even Jessica's phone plan. I've got access to it all. She never cared about the details, always said I was good with that stuff. Her mistake. I lean back, the vinyl seat creaking, and let my mind run. Jessica's been off for months. The yoga classes that ran late, the way she'd snap her laptop shut when I walked in, the excuses about being stressed. I bought it every time. But now I'm seeing the red flags I ignored. Those yoga classes weren't just yoga, were they? Chad was there with his stupid man bun and his breathe through your chakras bullshit. I can picture him now, leaning too close, her laughing at his dumb jokes. My stomach twists and I slam the Red Bull can into the cup holder, denting it. My phone buzzes again, and this time I answer. It's Sarah, her voice sharp and worried. Mike, where the hell are you? You didn't show up for lunch. I forgot we were supposed to meet at that taco joint on El Cajon. I rub my face, the stubble scratching my palm. She's gone, Sarah. Jessica left, with some gym rat named Chad. There's a long pause, and I can almost hear her brain kicking into gear. Sarah's a social media manager, the kind who can dig up dirt faster than a private eye. Chad? The yoga guy? She says, and there's an edge to her voice. Mike, stay where you are. I'm coming to you. 20 minutes later, she's in the passenger seat, her laptop open, scrolling through Instagram like a woman possessed. This is him, she says, shoving the screen at me. It's Chad's profile, a grid of shirtless selfies and inspirational quotes about living your truth. I want to puke. Sarah keeps scrolling, her nails clicking on the keys. He's a leech, Mike. Look at this. 3 years ago, he was shacked up with some real estate chick in Orange County. Left her high and dry when her bank account ran out. Same deal with a dentist in La Jolla last year. He targets women with money, or women about to have money, like Jess. I stare at the screen, my jaw tight. Jessica's a doctor now, or close enough. She's got loans, sure. But her first paycheck's coming. Chad sniffed that out, didn't he? How'd you find this? I ask, and Sarah smirks. People overshare on social media, Mike. You just got to know where to look. She's right. I've built campaigns on that exact truth. People spill their lives online, and guys like Chad leave trails. Something clicks in my head, like a switch flipping. I'm not the guy standing in the kitchen anymore. Coffee grounds on his hands, begging his wife to stay. I'm Michael Sullivan, the guy who's been solving problems for years. The guy who knows how to pivot. Sarah, I say, my voice steadier now. I need your laptop. She hands it over, no questions asked. I log into our bank accounts, joint, because Jessica never bothered to set up her own. My fingers fly, changing passwords, setting up two-factor authentication. I move half our savings to a new account, one she can't touch. It's not about screwing her over. It's about protecting myself. Next, I pull up the airline site. That Europe trip? I cancel Jessica's ticket and book one for Sarah instead. If Jess wants to jet off with Chad, she can figure out her own way. Sarah watches, her eyes wide. Damn, Mike. You're scary when you're focused. I don't smile. I'm not doing this for revenge. I'm doing it because I'm done being played. What's next? She asks, and I lean back, the Red Bull can cold against my palm. We're going to Europe. Not to chase her, but to face this head on. I need to see it, Sarah. I need to know it's real. She nods like she gets it. Maybe she does. Ever find a secret because someone got sloppy online? That's what Sarah did, and now I'm armed with the truth. But if you think this is just a revenge story, stick around. Because it's about to get way messier. I book the tickets, my hands steady now. Rome, Paris, the whole itinerary I planned for Jess. But this time, it's for me. For us. When I hit confirm, I feel something shift. Like a weightlifting. Not all the way, but enough to keep going. Jessica thinks she's off to some fairy tale life with Chad. She has no idea what's coming. I start the car, the engine rumbling to life. Sarah's still scrolling, muttering about Chad's latest post. A blurry shot of him and Jessica at a gas station, captioned New Beginnings. I don't look. I don't need to. I'm not running from this. Not hiding. I'm flying to Europe with my sister, not to escape, but to stare down the truth in Rome, in Paris, and in the wreckage of my own heart. Jessica thought she was living some grand love story in Paris with Chad, but she didn't know reality was about to slap her with a lesson she'd never forget. I'm sitting at a wobbly cafe table in Rome's Trastevere neighborhood, the kind of place with cobblestone streets and laundry flapping on balconies. It's been 4 days since I landed in Europe with Sarah, and the air smells like espresso and fresh bread. My sister's across from me, scrolling through her phone, her cappuccino untouched. She's been my anchor since San Diego, keeping me from drowning in the mess Jessica left behind. I take a sip of Chianti, the glass cool against my palm, and try to focus on the moment. The sun's dipping low, painting the buildings gold, but my head's still spinning from everything. Sarah looks up, her eyes sharp. "You need to see this, Mike." She slides her phone across the table, and there it is, Chad's Instagram, the same account she dug into back at the 7-Eleven. It's a post from yesterday, him posing in front of the Eiffel Tower, all smug with his aviators, and a caption about chasing dreams. Jessica's not in the shot, but I know she's there, probably holding the phone for him. Sarah swipes to a screenshot she grabbed from some shady forum. It's a thread about Chad, real name Charles Dempsey. And it's ugly. Debt collectors hounding him in California, a repossessed car, even a restraining order from that dentist in La Jolla. His European connections he bragged about? Total bullshit. The guy's a con artist, stringing along women like Jessica for their cash. I lean back, the chair creaking, and rub my temples. My marketer brain kicks in, piecing it together. Jessica's fresh out of med school, about to pull a doctor's salary. Chad saw her as a meal ticket, and she fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. I want to be angry, but all I feel is this heavy, aching sadness. 14 years, and she threw it away for a guy who can't even pay his phone bill. My phone buzzes, and I flinch. It's Jessica, calling from a Paris number. Sarah raises an eyebrow, but I nod, hitting accept. "Michael?" Her voice is shaky, not the cool, detached tone from San Diego. "The cards. They're not working. I tried to pay for the hotel, and they got declined." "What did you do?" There's panic in her voice. And for a second, I picture her standing in some budget hotel lobby, surrounded by her suitcase and Chad's lies. I take a slow sip of Chianti, letting the silence stretch. "I got a fraud alert," I say, keeping my voice flat like I'm reading a script. "Had to lock the accounts down. You know how it is." It's not a lie. Not really. I flagged the cards myself, right after I changed the passwords. Logical move, not emotional. I'm not trying to ruin her, just making sure she can't drain me while she's off with her yoga guru. "Michael, please," she says, and I hear her voice crack. "I'm stuck here. The hotel's 180 euros a night. And Chad, he doesn't have anything. I don't know what to do." There it is. Chad's true colors, laid bare. I close my eyes, picturing her in some dingy District 19 hotel, the kind with thin walls and stained carpets. Part of me wants to fix it, to wire her money and play the hero like I always have. But another part, the part that's been waking up since she walked out, says no, she made this bed. "Jess," I say, and my voice is steadier than I feel, "you'll figure it out. You're a doctor now, right? You wanted more." This is it. I hang up before she can respond, my hand shaking as I set the phone down. Sarah's watching me, her expression unreadable. "You okay?" she asks, and I force a smile, the Chianti glass catching the light. "Not really," I admit, "but I will be." That night, Sarah gets a text from a mutual friend back home. Chad bailed on Jessica, left her with the hotel bill and a half-eaten baguette. Apparently, he caught a train to Amsterdam, probably sniffing out his next mark. Jessica's alone in Paris, scrambling to cover the tab. I should feel vindicated, like I won some cosmic chess game. But I don't. There's no thrill in watching her crash, just this hollow ache where our life used to be. Ever been stuck somewhere, wondering how it all went so wrong? That's Jessica right now. And I'm not sure if I pity her or just regret the years I lost. We move on to Paris ourselves, staying in a cramped Airbnb near Montmartre. The city's beautiful, all twinkling lights and buttery croissants. But it feels like a stage set for someone else's story. Sarah drags me to a jazz bar one night, says I need to live a little. I'm nursing a beer, half listening to the saxophone when she leans in. You did the right thing, Mike. Locking the cards, letting her face it. She needed to see who Chad really is. I nod, but my mind's elsewhere, replaying Jessica's panicked call. I didn't want to hurt her, not really. I just wanted to stop hurting myself. The next day, Sarah and I are at a cafe overlooking the Seine, and I'm sketching out a plan on a napkin. New accounts, new boundaries, a new life. My marketer brain loves this stuff. Control the variables, minimize risk. But my heart's not in it. I keep thinking about Jessica, alone in that hotel, probably crying into a cheap glass of wine. Did she really think Chad was her ticket to a better life? Or was she just running from me, from us, from the weight of 14 years? Sarah snaps me out of it, tossing a sugar cube at me. Stop brooding, Mike. You're in Paris, not a funeral. I laugh. The first real laugh in days, and it feels like a crack in the armor I've been wearing. But the truth is, I'm not winning. Not yet. Cutting off the cards, watching Chad ditch her, it's not a victory. It's just the end of a chapter I didn't want to write. When I hung up on Jessica, I realized something. I didn't just lose her. I lost 14 years of believing in us. You think this is the end? It's not. The real story starts now. With me figuring out who I am without her. Ever have to rebuild yourself from scratch? That's where I'm at, standing on the edge of something new, and it's terrifying. But I'm not backing down. We finish our coffee, and Sarah drags me to the Louvre, says I need to see the Mona Lisa to feel cultured. I'm staring at that painting, her half smile mocking me, when my phone pings. It's a text from Jessica. I'm sorry, Michael, I was wrong. I stare at the screen, my thumb hovering over the reply button. Sarah glances over, her eyes soft but firm. You don't owe her anything, she says. And she's right. I delete the text, shove the phone in my pocket, and turn back to the painting. I'm not a hero. I'm not a villain. I'm just a guy who got blindsided and decided to fight back. Not with fists, but with logic, with boundaries, with the truth. Jessica's learning her lesson in Paris, and I'm learning mine here, in the shadow of art and history. This trip was supposed to be our victory lap. Instead, it's mine. Not because I beat her, but because I'm starting to see I don't need her to win. I head back to San Diego soon, not as a conqueror, but as a man learning to live again. And that's enough for now. 3 months after Jessica's Paris meltdown, she's back in San Diego, thinking she can just waltz back into her old life. But I've learned something. She doesn't get to call the shots anymore. And me, I'm learning to live without her. I'm sitting in a lawyer's office, the kind of place that smells like old coffee and printer ink. The desk is piled with papers, and the guy across from me, Tom, is a family attorney who looks like he's seen too many divorces. He's flipping through our financials, his glasses slipping down his nose. You're doing this clean, Michael, he says, not looking up. No revenge? Just fair. That's rare. I nod, staring at the $5,000 retainer fee invoice on his desk. It's a hit to my savings, but worth it to untangle my life from Jessica's. We're splitting the assets down the middle. Bank accounts, investments, the house. The house hurts the most. It's a suburban 3-bedroom in Claremont, nothing fancy, with a $180,000 mortgage we've been chipping away at for years. I used to love the creaky back porch, the way the kitchen smelled like her baking on good days. Now it's just a reminder of her suitcase wheels squeaking out the door. I'm buying her out, keeping the place, not because I'm sentimental, but because I need a home base, something solid while I rebuild. Sarah's been my rock through this. She's at my place now, sprawled on my couch with a glass of cheap Merlot, scrolling through her phone. You're doing the right thing, Mike, she says, not looking up. You don't owe her a damn thing. She's right. But it's not that simple. I don't hate Jessica. Not really. I'm just disappointed in her, in myself, in the 14 years I spent thinking we were a team. I lean against the kitchen counter, same spot where I spilled coffee the day she left. Sarah, you ever think maybe it wasn't all a lie, those years? My voice is quieter than I mean it to be. She sets her phone down, her eyes softening. Not all of it, Mike. You guys had good times, but she checked out. That's on her, not you. It's the kind of thing she's been saying for months, hammering it into me until I start to believe it. I'm not the failure here. I didn't walk away. My phone buzzes, and I flinch. It's Jessica, calling from a local number. I haven't heard her voice since Paris. That panicked call about the hotel bill. Sarah raises an eyebrow, but I hit accept. Michael, Jessica says. And her voice is small, not the confident doctor she was trying to be. I'm back. I messed up. Can we talk? I close my eyes, picturing her somewhere in San Diego, maybe at her mom's place, surrounded by unpacked boxes and regret. Jess, I say, keeping my tone even, there's nothing to talk about. We're done. There's a long pause, and I hear her breath hitch, like she's fighting tears. I'm sorry, Michael. I was stupid. Chad was... He wasn't worth it. I want to come home. Home. The word stings. Like a cut you didn't know was there. I glance at Sarah, who's shaking her head, mouthing, no way. I take a breath, steadying myself. That's not your home anymore? Jess, it hasn't been since you left? I hang up, my hands steady this time. Sarah lets out a low whistle. Damn, Mike. Cold as ice. I shrug, but inside I'm churning. Saying no to her felt like cutting a rope I'd been clinging to for years. It's not about punishment. It's about protecting myself. Ever had to shut the door on someone to save your own skin? That's where I'm at, and it's as liberating as it is brutal. The next week, I sign the papers to buy Jessica's share of the house. It's a $90,000 hit, half the equity, but I've got enough saved to cover it without selling my soul. Tom hands me the deed, and I stare at my name, alone, on the title. Michael Sullivan, no, and Jessica. It's real now. I'm free, but freedom feels heavier than I expected. Sarah drags me out for tacos that night, says I need to celebrate. We're at this hole-in-the-wall joint on University Avenue, the kind with sticky tables and salsa that burns your face off. She raises her Corona, grinning. To new beginnings, big brother. I clink my bottle against hers, but my mind's wandering. I keep seeing Jessica's face, the way she looked when we first moved to San Diego, all wide-eyed and hopeful. Was that ever real? Or was I just seeing what I wanted? I stop mid-sip, staring out the window at the neon signs flickering across the street. Sarah notices, sets her taco down. Mike, you're doing it again. The brooding thing. I laugh, but it's hollow. Just thinking, I say, about what I could have done different. She rolls her eyes. Nothing, dumbass. You gave her everything. She's the one who screwed up. I want to believe her, but part of me still wonders if I was too boring, too predictable, like she said. Back home, I'm on the porch, the one I haven't fixed yet. The night's cool, and the street's quiet, except for a dog barking somewhere. I'm flipping through old photos on my phone, ones I should have deleted months ago. Me and Jessica at the beach, her laughing with sand in her hair. Our first Christmas in the house, the tree lopsided because we couldn't afford a good one. I don't know why I'm torturing myself, but I can't stop. Sarah's voice echoes in my head. Not all of it was a lie. Maybe she's right. Maybe there were good years before she got lost in her own ambition, before Chad slithered in. I delete the photos, one by one, my thumb moving faster as I go. It's not about erasing her. It's about letting go. When I'm done, my phone feels lighter, like I've shed a layer of grief. I lean back, the porch creaking under me, and take a deep breath. The air smells like eucalyptus and salt. San Diego's signature? I'm not whole yet, but I'm getting there. You think I'd forgive Jessica? Let her back in? Keep watching, because that's not my story. I'm not the guy who begs anymore. When I told her, that's not your home, I meant it. Something shifted in me, permanent, like a bone setting after a break. I'm not the Michael who stood in the kitchen, coffee grounds on his hands, watching her drive away. I'm someone new, someone who knows his worth. The lawyer calls the next day. Everything's finalized. Jessica gets her half, I get the house, and we're done. I hang up, and for the first time in months, I feel like I can breathe. Sarah texts me a thumbs up emoji, because of course she does. I'm not celebrating, not really, but I'm moving forward, not to forget Jessica, but to find myself again. And that's enough for now. A year later, I found something I didn't even know I was looking for. Not revenge, not some big win, just peace. Real, quiet, everyday peace. I'm standing on a San Diego beach, the kind with gritty sand that sticks to your shoes. The sun's dipping low, turning the Pacific into a sheet of gold. Buddy, my rescue mutt, is tearing after a tennis ball, his floppy ears bouncing like he's got no cares in the world. I laugh, loud and free, as he trips over his own paws and face plants into the surf. He pops up, shaking water everywhere, and bolts back to me, dripping and proud. This is it, I think. This is what happy feels like. It's been a year since Jessica left, since I stood in that kitchen with coffee grounds on my hands, watching her drive off with Chad. A lot's changed. I got a promotion at work, senior marketing director, with a $15,000 bump in salary. Not enough to make me rich, but enough to move out of the old house and into a condo a block from the ocean. It's small, just a one-bedroom with a balcony that creaks, but it's mine. No ghosts of Jessica in the walls, no memories of her suitcase squeaking out the door. Jessica's back in San Diego too, but her life's not the fairy tale she chased. Word is she's drowning in loan payments, working double shifts at a clinic to stay afloat. Chad? He's living with his mom in Riverside, posting gym selfies like nothing happened. I don't check his Instagram. Sarah does. Keeps me updated whether I ask or not. I don't feel smug about it. I just feel done. I've started mentoring at work, teaching junior marketers how to read data, how to pivot when a campaign tanks. Turns out, I'm good at it. There's this kid, Ethan, who reminds me of myself at 25. Eager, a little cocky, but willing to learn. Last week, he nailed a pitch I coached him through, and the look on his face, pure, unfiltered pride, hit me harder than my own promotion. Helping someone else find their footing, that's what keeps me grounded. My phone buzzes in my pocket as I toss the ball for a buddy again. It's a text from Jessica. Heard about your promotion. Congrats, Michael. You deserve it. I stare at the screen, my thumb hovering. A year ago, I'd have overthought it, maybe even replied. Now? I delete the message. No hesitation. It's not anger. It's clarity. She's not part of my life anymore. I shove the phone back in my pocket and whistle for Buddy, who's chasing a seagull now, barking like he's got a shot at catching it. Sarah says I'm different now, not the guy who used to slump around, blaming himself for Jessica's choices. She's right. I'm not bulletproof. Some nights, I still think about those 14 years, wondering what I missed. But then I look at Buddy, or the ocean, or the stack of campaign briefs on my desk, and I'm okay. More than okay. I'm whole. Buddy sprints back, dropping the soggy ball at my feet. He looks up at me, tongue lolling, and I swear he's grinning. I crouch down, scratching behind his ears, and he leans into it, tail thumping. Out of nowhere, he bolts into the waves again, chasing nothing but joy. I laugh so hard my sides ache, the sound carrying over the crash of the surf. What's happiness to you? For me, it's this. Sand in my shoes, a dog who loves me, and a life I built from the ground up. Happiness isn't having everything you want. It's wanting everything you have. I didn't need Jessica to lose for me to win. I didn't need Chad to crash and burn. I just needed to find my way back to myself, one step at a time. And here I am, on this beach, with Buddy in the sunset and a heart that's finally at peace.